Hi, welcome to A Foreigner in the Philippines. Oh boy, what a time it's been over the last few days for guests. We're always bragging how we are the most visited of the YouTube channels, and the last few days has really tended to put an exclamation mark on that. Well, we had Wilbert, who was a very special guest. Thanks to Wilbert, this is my treasured gift that Wilbert bought, and it's a Harley Davidson. It's a Harley Davidson frog.
It's your motor running, head up for the highway, looking for adventure, and whatever comes our way. Born to be wild, born to be wild.
Wilbert, thanks very much for that gift. I have to confess I play that every day. So that was Wilbert, a special sense of humour and some beautiful cards. I read them again just a little while ago for my birthday, and it was very special. Thanks for being with us, and you are always welcome. So then we have our Aussie motorheads. I'm sure they won't mind me calling them that. They are special engineers who build custom machines, really, and that were Kerry and Chris and Stephen. Stephen is in a wheelchair, and by the gracious generosity and help of his friends, he was able to spend some time with us, and we were very happy to do that. Thank you for coming to see us. And I'm actually using the microphone that you, Kerry, brought for us. Haven't had to use the dead cat yet, but I'm guessing that probably we should have done in some circumstances. We still haven't used worked out how to get the microphone onto our camera. Not just yet, but we will. Right now I don't have to do that because I can just prop the mic up, and it seems to be working very well. Thanks, Kerry. Thanks for coming to see us, guys. We always feel very privileged that talented, gracious, talented, loyal subscribers come and see us. We feel very privileged. We've had such incredible people come, and you guys, of course, were all in line with the word incredible. Thank you, and we look forward to seeing you again. Kerry, you're threatening to come and see us again, and Kerry actually messaged me a little while ago and asked for the details for Dennis's motorcycle. Dennis is the amputee that we helped, courtesy once again of the real heroes, our subscribers, who paid for the surgery for Dennis to have a terrible tumour that was in his right leg, and he had that removed, and he actually seems to be doing great. This is a gutsy guy with a lot of fight in him and the will to live, and we've talked about this in other videos, that it's something that you can't actually teach somebody. You can't show them how to have a fight to live. Are you going to bed, honey?
I'm sleeping now.
Okay. It's 10 o'clock. We seem to be working very late these days, getting up very early and working very late. Just seems to go with the job. Especially after the makeup session that I was forced into taking part in. Happily it didn't spoil my good looks. Well, tongue in cheek there, okay? Somebody said you better get through your status approval so that you don't get any more bored, otherwise you'll be doing all kinds of things. Who knows? Well, so Kerry has asked for the details of the bike that Dennis rides, and amazingly, Dennis, who has had his right leg removed, amputated right up into the groin, it you know, it's not for the faint of heart. But as I said, he has incredible fight in him, and has actually been riding a motorcycle, a non-customized motorcycle, just a straightforward motorcycle, and he's managed to ride it safely. Admittedly, if we're going to make any excuses, the roads are really not very crowded out here. We're out here in the province, and that main road, it doesn't have very much traffic, so he's able to choose his times. But Kerry is an inventor of different ways of doing things, and I think he has a trick or two up his sleeve, and is going to try to make something that we can bolt onto Dennis's bike, which will make it easier and safer for him to use it, which will be a big advantage. So that, and what does that bring us to? That brings us, last but not least, to our two beautiful ladies who spent the night with us along in their travels. I think that it was a little bit quiet here, so they're off to do something at one of the adventure parks, and they're going to be doing that high ride bicycle riding. I think I might pass on that one. The plunge was enough for me, but who knows? You never know. Maybe on my 80th birthday I might try that. So thank you for coming and seeing us, and for gracing us with your company, Gwen and May, and we hope to see you again. You're welcome anytime. Just let us know, and the guest house is there, and you're welcome to treat our home as your home. So that's our visitors. What can I say? What we do, so that people who are wondering why we would have a guest house, we have a guest house because it seemed to us that it should be possible for people who are curious to come and check us out, and the guest house is the obvious answer for that. So we open the guest house. It's not there for people to come and camp out indefinitely. Most people come and they spend a few days with us, and that's usually enough. And during that time, just so that anybody who's planning that perhaps they might include a visit to our home on the hill, we don't change anything about what we do. We have our work. We work 24/7 on what we do, and you should choose your times carefully in order to be able to come and enjoy going around with us. Now, we do have some boxes which are supposed to be arriving, so that means that there'll be lots of giveaways coming, making sure that the contents of the boxes are given out to people who really need them, because quite honestly we're doing pretty good on what we need. There are obviously things that we would like to have, but we're not deprived in any way, and so many of the people that we help are deprived. A lot of them are, without being too dramatic, are living without hope. And we did a video very recently showing the house that we were actually about to start replacing. We were right on beginning. We had most of the materials, not all of the materials, but we did have most of the materials ready to do that job. And then when we had this restriction placed on us, we had to stop. And if you look at that video of House 32, you will see what a huge disappointment that was, and why we thought or hoped that we would be able to quietly get that finished, you know. if for instance we had to go and see the DSWD on a Monday, we thought, I guess, that they could have said, why don't you come and see us on Thursday, and we'd have had the house finished by then. Well, that's wishful thinking. We went to see it with Gwen and May so that they would have a reality on what are the houses that we replace, what do they look like before we get to work. And that is good for you too, as a new subscriber. Which brings us to the good news about our subscribers. As one of our subscribers said, that it seems like subscribers that are with us already are sharing, telling others about us and about the work that we do, and because of that it's been an astronomical increase in our subscribership, which is actually heading now for 54,000. That's where it's heading, and it will be there probably tomorrow, or who knows, maybe the day after. We're not complaining. So that's our little go through on our visitors, and it's a heads up on anybody who is actually coming and planning to see us. It's not a treat down to the local beach. It's not really a treat. It's what might prove, depending on your viewpoint, it might prove to be an eye-opener about the kind of work that is needed here. We are, as I've said many times, we are first responders. We're not there to bring great educational sweeps. Believe me, if we were to go in as self-appointed educators on things like birth control in a predominantly Roman Catholic country, we would not be enjoying the privilege of welcome in any of these houses. But we are welcomed, and people understand what we do, and we're there really to, in my mind, to get the kids of these families into a house that is worthy of the name house. Someone said that of house number 32 as it stands at the moment, that it's a stretch of the imagination to call it a shelter. That's very true. I agree with you. I think that was Buster Baggins. So that's our job, is to help people to gain a little hope. And as someone else observed, with what we called the skeleton house, we went back to the skeleton house, and some subscriber has said, I want this parcel to go to the children of the skeleton house. And that's what we did. We took the parcel, and it was opened there at, I believe it was opened there at by the kids, of which there are 7 for that house. And it was noted from the first house renovations that we did. We clad the house. We did some concrete work in there, and we gave them not just the materials. We gave them 2 or 3 men to be able to go in there and get the job done. It's one thing to buy materials for someone, but if they can't afford to spend the time or don't have the expertise, then the materials will just lie there and go to waste. It's best to offer help. So that's what we did, and we got the house finished. And now, since then, the father, encouraged and pulled out of the doldrums, out of apathy, has gone ahead and made a lot of different improvements in the house. He's extended it, and he's used his know-how. He was a good worker, and we were very happy to have the help from him. And I think actually that his father-in-law came and helped as well. So that was a really successful, a very successful project. So the point being that our helping him made him realize that he could change things, and that was a great lesson, and that's as big a lesson as we in our limited wisdom hope to do. So thanks for looking. This is a foreigner in the Philippines, and we look forward to you liking, comment, subscribe, especially subscribe if you're there and you're looking at this and you've watched any of the other videos. If you haven't already subscribed, why not? Why not help? It's as much as you can do to help just by watching. Let the ads play, and things will change. Things will change just by what you did on that. And something that I never mention, never thought to mention, I thought it was common knowledge. It's not. There's no charge. There are no fees involved. There are no hassles involved in well, not just commenting, but in subscribing. You just subscribe and then hit the bell, and there's a little icon of a bell there, and that will make sure that you receive an indication that there is a new video out from TMB and the foreigner in the Philippines.